Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alien Addict. This is a special one for me because this is not only am I a little bit tipsy, I seem to have demolished probably half a bottle of wine, but this is my first proper live stream where I'm not fake live. So I hope you enjoy it. We are talking about the moon because it's very fitting right now with what's going on with the old H2O. And we're doing it with my good friend, Musty Audio. Musty Audio, welcome to the show.
How's it going, mate? Are you good?
I'm very good, mate. I'm nervous.
Well, just when you were saying how nervous you were about doing the first live stream, I was that close to just bailing on you. Just for laughsies.
And here he is.
and just leaving a pumpkin in the way.
I need to open a can. It's only a small one. It's a small little tight. Mate, I have to say that the is it all go for YouTube next? Is it are you going to?
Yeah, well, we used to do the podcast on YouTube. We used to do it live on YouTube as well, but lives as you're finding is a bit scary. So I stopped doing it live, then started uploading it, and then life gets in the way. And as you know yourself, video editing takes a long time, especially when you've got a 2.5 hour podcast to get through.
Yeah.
So I stopped doing it and just stuck to audio. But lights and stuff look nice, don't they?
Well, I have left all the links in the description for your podcast. So guys, check them out after the show. We kind of we thought what should we discuss? And then you said the moon. The moon.
Well, it's always there. Hanging over us.
Has it always been there though?
Well, not according to Ike. Ike would suggest it was an artificial satellite, wouldn't he?
My good old friend David Icke.
Yep.
I need to get him on.
You do need to get him on.
Ask him about the lizards.
A Musty Audio listener. He lives in the Isle of Wight, isn't it? David Icke lives in the Isle of Wight.
Yeah, I keep getting mixed up with where you live as well.
I'm on the Isle of Man. And his father and David Icke, they live really close to each other, and they're in like a permanent battle for a car parking space outside Sainsbury's.
Yes, you told me this on the last show. That's brilliant. I could just imagine David with his little tub, just having a little jittering about,
rolling up in his Lexus.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, he's got me park again. It's the bloody Zionists.
So water on the moon, mate.
Yes, on the sun side.
It's not. We're not talking like we can't do a anti-gravity swim in it, but
no. But they do suggest that if we can build a base on it, we can sustain life. It will help sustain life, don't they? I find it odd. I thought it was going to be more. To be perfectly honest, I don't know whether I expected too much.
Well, it's really funny that I've only just found this out. Well, when did it get released? 3 days ago, and I've just been watching because my mum bought a new iPad, and she got 1 year's worth of Apple. Oh, what's it called? Apple TV. Yeah. So I nicked it off her,
right,
and I put it onto my iPad, and I started to watch this show that was called. It was something about the moon. I can't remember the bloody name of it. But anyway, it was like an alternate reality to them going to the moon. And the Russians landed there first.
Right. This sounds really cool.
It's amazing. And there's one season out, but basically they do keep going back. So the Russians land there first, but the Americans go back to actually get a base there. And they find ice like trapped underneath the rock. So they're like, well, we can get a base there because if there's water there, we can sustain ourselves. So they end up getting this base there. So I watched this before. This has just been kind of the knowledge of this.
Yeah. It's odd, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's what it's floating about, and it's obviously the comets that have hit the moon that have spreaded this foreign H2O all over the I'm going to say the planet there, but the surface of the moon. Which, how do you the science behind going up there and getting that into something that we can like live, like get people living on there. Not only that, but you can, I'm no scientist, but you can do something with H2O to make rocket fuel, I believe. So
it's hydrogen. You can make hydrogen.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah. But right, I suppose if we're going to talk about the moon, we should start like as far as our like exploration goes of it. Because you and I both just watched the Stanley Kubrick documentary, didn't we? The room, is it 423?
Room 237, which is my beautiful background here.
Yes,
I'm kind of obsessed with the background.
Where do you stand on the moon landing and the footage we had, or we're given?
Well, every so often I'm going to look at the comments because there's bound to be someone saying we never went.
Yes.
So I've had this conversation with my dad, and he looks at me like a piece of shit on his shoe. You're telling me we didn't go to the moon? I was there. I watched it on television. Yeah,
100%.
Like, yeah, but I said, Dad, you're going to look at it from what people are saying, that this could have been quite easily filmed in a studio. And then when I watched Room 237, that kind of like set a few alarm bells off me, and I'm thinking, okay, so maybe Stanley Kubrick did. For anybody who's watching this that doesn't know what Room 237 is, it's a documentary about the film The Shining, and Stanley Kubrick basically pissed Stephen King off big time by destroying his film. Now, I think The Shining is a fantastic film, and I thought it was a fantastic film before I even knew about Room 237 and what Kubrick did, which was he basically, I mean, the guy's got an IQ of 200 or something. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And he put so many hidden things in that film, but one of them was him basically saying, I faked the moon landing.
I mean, if you watch 2001 and think about when that came out, if anybody could do something like that, it's Stanley Kubrick. There's no doubting that some of the scenes in that film look very similar to what we got from moon landing. I've always been in the camp. Oh, sorry, I should say for a long time I was in the camp of Van Allen radiation belts. Can't get through them. I don't think we went to the moon at all. But I'm more and more coming around to the idea that maybe the mission was real, but what we saw wasn't real.
Okay, so you mean like they were there?
Yeah.
But what we saw, well, what my parents saw on TV was like the maybe it was already done, you know. If they crash and they die,
yeah,
you know, we're just gonna...
I think that's definitely a possibility. You couldn't have, right? Think about this: the greatest achievement in human history. Yeah, let's say if everything's above board, the greatest achievement in human history. You get one chance and you do it without a dry run, without anything. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe that human beings have ever tried something like that. I know we did plenty of like testing and stuff on Earth and things like that, and there's some terrible footage of them trying to land the lunar lander and stuff like that, and it just looks like a death trap. I believe one of the original astronauts left the program and said that he left the program because he thought it was impossible what they were trying to do, and I believe he died shortly after shortly after saying that. But I don't know. Someone have to fact check me on that. But the idea of us doing something like that so perfectly on one try, I find that very hard to believe.
Well, I mean, when you think about technology-wise, it was July 1969, I believe, when we went to the moon. And I say we went to the moon because I actually do believe we went to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
But the questions that I have, and I've been doing research on this for so long, because like if you look at cameras in 1969, they were pretty good quality. You could film a really good film. NASA sending somebody to the moon. You would have thought they said, okay, the live footage, I understand why it might be shit.
Mm-hmm.
But where's the really good shit? You know, where is the good bits of film that the guys will have taken on the moon? Now I've seen stuff, but it's not great footage. None of it's good.
No,
That's the problem I have with it, because if I'm going to invest all that money to get people to the moon, I want to see some, the best of the best.
Well, the interesting thing about the film footage is all of the the like One Giant Leap, like walk down the ladder and stuff like that. All the news networks or all television networks that were given access to that to broadcast it had to broadcast it from projection on a sheet in the, I think it was in NASA control room. I know it was at Cape Canaveral, but they had to film a projection. A live feed wasn't given to anybody. That I think's weird. That's the greatest achievement in human history again. And instead of allowing people to see the live feed, like you say, with good quality, you had people essentially pirate copying it to send it all around the world.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's so many. I think that's the thing. There's no to me, there's no one thing. It's just when you get all these little things that stack up, and you go, well, hang on a second, that's just weird. It's too weird. It's too weird to take.
I understand why people get angry about it as well, because it's such an achievement for never mind America, but for mankind itself. Mm-hmm. And my dad right now, if he's watching this, he's literally ready to write me out of his will, because he's wondering what I'm going to say next. But Dad, if you're watching this, I do think we went, but I do think there's possibly something a little bit fiddly behind the footage. The interesting thing is when they were back. Did you see the interview with them all when they were back? It literally looked like they... I don't know how to explain it. It looked like you imagine you've been told off at school and you've had to sit in a room and you've been given some really shit results of whatever. They've been to the clinic after they've all slept with some some ladies of the night, and they've had the results. That's what it looked like.
The only thing I agree, and I agree 100% with it. The only thing I caveat that with is they did it really quickly after coming back. Again, let's say everything's on the level. I'm thinking there's a lot of strain that's going to be put on the body through that whole thing. You're going to be dehydrated. You're going to be malnourished, simply because, like, weight-wise, you're going to have the smallest amount of water you can get away with for each person. Same with food. So they're not going to be in the best of shapes by the time they get back, no matter how much dehydrated ice cream they can fit on board.
Yeah, they probably just wanted to get into the pub, and have a burger and a beer.
Yeah, something like they want to go and say to Neil, it's like good line. That was a really good speech, because that's another problem I've got. I think the idea of someone coming up with that off the cuff, I don't have that either.
Yeah, that speech was beautiful.
Oh, it's amazing.
That speech was just... It is the best speech I think I've ever heard. in the history of the Earth.
Yeah, he probably. I mean, well, it's the only one that's been given off the Earth, so yeah, probably the first one that was given off the Earth. I forgot what I was going to say now. Speech.
Yeah, the speech. The speech was sweet.
Tom.
It was delicious.
Yeah,
it was the greatest speech we've ever heard, Lee. But yeah, they went to the moon. I believe they went to the moon. They sent this, the Saturn V rocket up. If anybody gets a chance, watch the HD. I think it was at the cinemas a year ago. I think it's now on. I could be wrong, but I'm sure it's on Netflix. But it's beautiful. I mean, they do but the actual moon footage, not so beautiful. But you don't send a big, giant bastard up like that. That's going somewhere. For people that say, "Oh, well, that thing just landed. It went up and it landed in the sea."
I don't know. I mean, on the film thing, I think there should be better footage of it. I'm no video camera expert, but when you look back at like old footage of talk shows and things like that, and you see these big old cameras and stuff, stuff like that. So it's not like we had like HD cameras that we could fit, even into something that size. I wouldn't have thought. But what we did have was really good still cameras. And this is the other thing which doesn't sit right with me, is that for that day on the moon, those men turned into expert photographers, because I can't remember how many photographs each camera can take. I know it was only a small amount of photographs it could take, because you can't just whip the film out and stick a new one in. But there was no viewfinder on them. The cameras are stuck to the chest there, yeah. So essentially, it's like you.
Well, so they don't flow off.
No, it's obviously, but it's like you slapping your iPhone to your chest and then just sort of wiggling your chest in the way. Say, right, that looks like a shot. Clicking it and not knowing what's happened until you get home. But we got these crystal clear, perfectly centered images of astronauts stood with rovers. When flags.
Well, I think color-wise, though, I mean, you've got the moon's surface. I mean, I know it's not. This is another thing, but there's not much color there, is there? So these cameras, they probably knew how to get these cameras.
No, but think of framing. Just think of framing.
I know what you're saying, but surely they said, "Look, Neil, Buzz, we'll have a day. There's a good photographer here. He's going to teach you some tricks of the trade.
Yeah,
let's get you trained up, because we don't want you taking shit pictures when you're up there."
I'm sure you could have done that, but
they probably got trained how to have a shit in space
on the quiet. As an amateur photographer, I think I take a pretty good picture, and that's fine. But the idea of taking a picture with not being able to see what's going on with the subject, not being able to know what's going on with the light and things like that, it's strange. I mean, that's the other thing as well. You've got that one point of light, that the big old fiery fella,
sun.
That would be not that. That wouldn't be what it was like photographing on Earth. Because we get more of a spread of light, where I feel that would be more of a direct spotlight. I mean, maybe that helped. But maybe as long as that thing was to your back. But then you've got the pictures of of something which is clearly being illuminated from the front. But then when you see the back of the lander, you can see all the detail on the back of the lander as well. That doesn't happen without a separate light source.
So. Are you leaning to the work there?
That I'm
where are you with it, Lee? Where are you?
What we've seen isn't real.
But
that's where I am with it.
Did the three chaps go to the moon?
Well, oddly enough,
Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and what's the other fella's name that nobody can remember?
the guy who stayed on board.
Oh my god, my dad was talking about this the other day, and I was like, he's like, what's his name? Come on, son, you know his name. I'm like, what's his name now? What is his name?
He's the astronaut version of Roland Ratzenberger. Roland Ratzenberger died the day before Ayrton Senna.
Come on, somebody put it in the comments and I'll whack it up on screen. The guy was the most important guy because without him, there's been stuck down there.
He was the getaway driver. I've forgotten his name. But what I did watch.
It was the guy that didn't go to the moon, but waited in space for them to come back to the ship. That was probably the wrong way to ask Google. Oh, there we go. There we go in.
Michael Collins. Phil Collins' brother.
Richard was the first one there, so yeah.
Say Phil Collins' brother. Your man's little emoji there looks a little bit like Phil Collins with a beard.
Hey, he's a good lad, he's Rich. And he's a martial art expert.
Is he? I didn't say he wasn't hard. Just look like a bit like Phil Collins. I love Phil Collins. He's a great drummer. I'm a drummer.
Oh, he is. That advert. I don't know if they get that in the States, but the monkey, the
gorilla one,
the gorilla. What advert was that?
Dairy Milk.
Dairy Milk, yeah. But yeah, never mind Dairy Milk and monkeys and Phil Collins. We're talking about the moon here, people.
I saw pictures yesterday when I was trying to do, because I think that's the thing. The moon used to be a big thing for me, like conspiracy theory wise. So I found it really hard to brush up on it because I kind of half knew everything I was reading, and then it was just like a torrent of memories that was trying to flood back. But the pictures I was looking at yesterday were all the out of focus pictures they took when they were on the rocket, and out of the window, and then pictures of each other that were all out of focus and stuff like that. And that makes me think that at that point they were at least on that rocket in space going somewhere, because I don't believe that you put what I consider to be fake images of the moon out. I don't believe you put fake images of the moon with so many holes in them, but still have the foresight to make shit pictures to make it look like you were doing it.
Yeah, I think
the shit pictures to me have more credibility than the good ones.
I've been through those pictures as well. Like many years ago when I first started my channel, I used to do a lot on like moon anomalies. I can't say anomalies, or Mars anomalies and what have you.
You are in a bad line of work if you can't say anomaly.
Us Yorkshire people, they can't pronounce stuff right.
Yeah, most words.
We were interbred. So, but the way I see it, maybe they decided to take a picture at the wrong point. They hit the throttle. Yeah, now take a picture, quick, take a picture. It's like he's got the camera like this.
Yeah,
he's trying to focus the thing. But
have you watched the documentary Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon?
Yes, many moons ago.
See, that's what one of the things that first got me into the moon conspiracy was that documentary.
Did you not get that, Lee? Many moons ago. I just,
sorry.
I feel that deserves it.
Yeah, I completely no-told it. I was too busy trying to open a can quietly and failing drastically.
No. You should do what my friend Rich from Goof on Radio does, and he opens them right next to the, Well, he's right though. It is one of the greatest sounds in the world.
It is.
though he doesn't drink beer. It's the energy drinks.
Oh, that's not great.
Which I can't drink the energy drinks.
No, I think
I drank too many of them. The Red Bull back in the day, vodka Red Bull.
I feel like I'm doing an advert here.
As long as they sponsor me, I don't care. I need a sponsor. I don't know who it'd be though. Like I feel like something for beard grooming, maybe.
Beard oil. There's lots of beard oil. MeUndies. They seem to sponsor everything.
Undies, like underwear.
MeUndies. Yeah, they do underwear. HelloFresh. They
I'm
seem
not.
to
Does that mean that I'd like to? I'd probably have to model them.
I mean, I suppose you could. I haven't seen anybody else do it, but you could pave yourself a little
It's
path.
been a while since I've modelled a pair of like decent undies.
Yeah. So where do you stand on the moon landing stuff?
He drinks NOS. We don't have NOS. Do you know what NOS is?
Absolutely not.
No, it's well, I think it's like a thing for like nitrous oxide. Is like because it makes you speedy. I really want to try one, Rich. If you send me one, that would be great. I'll have a NOS. I'll drink it live. Where's my thoughts on that? Do I think we went to the moon? I do think we went to the moon. I'm getting the impression, Lee, that you don't think we went.
I don't think those. I don't think those. What I don't think the video is real. I don't think the pictures are real.
But do you believe that the Michael, Phil Collins, Neil Armstrong,
that John Paul, George, and Ringo on that day went all the way to the moon? I don't.
Do you believe those three guys went?
Can I say I want to? I want to believe.
I need a percentage.
I mean, well, I already think the only evidence that's been put in front of me, I think, is fake. So then it has to be 80-20 fake. Do you know what I mean? If there's nothing there,
80% of you believe those three men landed on that lunar.
No,
didn't go. Oof.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to be because what I'm given, I don't believe. It's for me to be given something, me not believe it, and then still believe what I'm being told would be idiocy.
Okay, it's interesting. It's interesting.
But I see one of the reasons I take this because I feel a bit like my my father and your father with this, because I don't know if you remember, any of the listeners remember, there was a video game console in the early 90s called the Philips CDI.
I had one. Yeah.
You were the other person.
I know. Do you know why I know it very well?
Why?
Because, and sorry, Mum and Dad, if you're watching this, but they bought me one at Christmas when I had asked for a PlayStation. The very first, right? I wanted a
what a day.
I wanted a PlayStation that badly that my grandma said, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I went, "Can I have a PlayStation control pad?" Because I knew it come with one control pad, so I thought I'll get another one to play with my friends. So, sorry for my birthday, because my birthday is close to Christmas. I'm coming up I'm 40 in December. The big 40.
I've got 2 years. 2 years before I have to worry about that.
It's just an age, mate. Just an age.
It's fine. We're both handsome. It's grand.
But my grandma got me a PlayStation controller in December for my birthday, and for Christmas I opened a CDI, Philips CDI. So I was like, and I'm not an ungrateful kid, so I'm like, oh, amazing. Thanks. You know, bastards. Well, you know, my dad's going, I'm like, I got a PlayStation controller for my and he said, my dad went, yes, but the fella in the shop said that this can play movies as well. So I'm like, okay. So yeah. But back to the moon.
Did you get the Antarctica thing that came with it? Remember Antarctica, the encyclopedia?
Yes.
So the Antarctica that came with CDI had like all the videos and stuff like that. And it had a big section on what I felt like, because back in those days when you popped an Antarctica,
I do remember that. Yep.
When you popped a CD-ROM into a computer, it felt like the internet does now. It felt like you had all the knowledge of human history of fingertips. And I remember as a kid watching the moon landing and reading the stuff about it. And I watched that like ladder walk, like over and over again. It must have been the hundreds of times I watched that, if not thousands. And it was only then because I was so on board with it. It's not like I came from a place where, oh, well, the moon landings didn't happen in my lifetime. And then I came across the conspiracies and I went, they're rubbish. I was so into it. It was heartbreaking when I suddenly started thinking, I don't buy it. I don't buy what I'm being sold. So that's, it's not like I've come from this place where I've never believed it. But I wish there was something there, something more tangible that I could go, well, that has to be real. But the films, the photographs and the films, I mean, even down to, as I'm sure you know and you've seen, the plate markings, like the crosshairs on the plate markings.
Yeah.
And some of them have been added after time because some of them are behind like subjects and in front of subjects it shouldn't be. And you just look at it and go, well, why would you brush a like the plate markings out? I don't get it. You do it with all, if you just wanted like a nice crystal clear picture, you'd take all of it out. You wouldn't just take what was behind a shoulder, or I think there's quite a famous one, isn't there, behind one of the cameras on the rovers, which is completely obscured.
Well, do you remember there was I can't remember the documentary, but there was a thing that went out where what's it now? This woman, and I can't remember her name, but she came out and said that she walked in and or was it her job to airbrush some stuff out? So there was stuff on the moon that was being airbrushed out.
I thought that was I remember somebody coming out saying that they airbrushed UFOs out of satellite images.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. But this was saying that it was pictures of the moon and they were airbrushing things.
Which I don't get me wrong, I'm sure that those photographs are touched up. Like obviously, if you've sent these guys all the way to the moon, they stick a flag down, they come back, you look at the pictures, you're going to go, right, we want that red and blue to be the red and blue we want it to be on that flag. You're going to, because the colors really pop on those pictures. So they've obviously been enhanced.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say it's not the enhancements I have an issue with. It's it's what I would consider like flaws within them.
Have you seen China's pictures of the moon?
Yes.
And have you noticed something in China's pictures and the pictures that we have? I mean, I
thought the coloring was different.
Yeah, it's got like a brown tinge
like
to it,
sort of soily sort of thing. Yeah. I don't know what I think about that. I mean, that could be but before we did this, I had 3 different cameras I tried before we did this. Each camera pulled colors up in a different way. It's the nature of the beast, isn't it, when you're dealing with cameras, lenses and software. So this like coloration doesn't get me.
I like that you've got the computer screen behind you, Lee.
That took a lot of,
I'm confused what you're using as your computer screen. Have you got 2 computers?
I've got, that's a separate monitor.
You lucky bastard.
It's a separate. Not gonna lie.
I've got another one here. I'm just thinking I'd like that behind me, but then I just realized that I'm gonna have to like balance it on a kid's toy or something to get that like kind of alien addict thing going on behind me.
It's an absolute vanity monitor. It's there to do that.
Sorry, listen. What were you saying? What were you saying about the soil?
Like differences in color don't really like bother me because it can all be like optics and cameras and stuff like that. But I do think that, and this is one thing that would be sort of credence towards it. I feel somebody would have rumbled it by now.
Yeah.
That's the only other thing is I feel like someone like I did wonder whether during like the 2016 presidential election whether like Putin would drop like a photograph of where the landing site should be to.
Well, this is another thing. It was a moon race. I mean, America didn't particularly get on with Russia back then.
No, not at all.
Surely, the Russian intelligence would have known if it had been faked.
Well, I mean, for their sake, you would hope they knew something because I don't think there's many like. I don't think you get too many tries in Russian intelligence before you're not part of anything anymore. So you'd think they would do. But that again, though, it's just the fact that there's nothing there which I can take as read. I mean, the other thing which would be a reason to fake the footage is, like as you said before, we don't want to lose like American heroes going on this great adventure. So if something terrible was to happen, you still have something to show. So the idea would be that the astronauts never went in the first place. We did go to the moon, people went there, but it wasn't Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong. It wasn't those people. I would kind of believe that, Joe. I would believe that would be a.
What you mean? They're like the actors.
Yeah. I would believe that, although an underhanded thing to do, I could see and I'm not saying that I believe that's what happened, but I can see the reasoning behind it. The other thing is that they were the guys. They did go. This massive feat was pulled off, like on the first time we did it. Wouldn't you be worried about like going up there and finding something?
You mean like the Transformers movie where they cut? Have you seen that one where they cut him off? They say, right, Neil, you've got 45 minutes, and they go out to that. Like, I don't know why I'm running like that, but they go out to the crashed spaceship. That's the best bit about that film. Then it's shite.
I've got a soft spot for the Transformers films. It makes me feel 12.
I love the sound that they make.
Oh, it sounds great.
I wish my own limbs sounded like that.
Maybe one day we'll be able to augment.
If I lost a limb, I hope I don't. But if I did, I'd put that Transformers sound when I.
You want to keep hold of your limbs. I think
yes.
our children might be able to replace things, but I don't hold a lot of hope for us in that way yet. But yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Would it be so classified we could never see it?
What did you see the moon mission, the fake moon mission? You ever seen it? The one where they bring the. This is why I used to edit the videos, so I could just bring it in. I daren't bring anything in now in case somebody goes, "Hang about, that's mine." You filthy bastard! Don't use my footage. Though that could be anybody's footage because basically it was what looked like a tribal person. They brought the woman with the things in her nose, and then they showed the footage of that was apparently the what a load of shite.
It did
well, do you know something? And I can debunk that. And I'm going to debunk it because I know where they've used some of the stuff, because there is footage of in the background showing buildings. Mm-hmm. Now this bit I've followed art for a long time, and I can never remember any artist name that I used to like look at the books. But there was one, H.R. Geiger, the guy that created the Alien. Mm-hmm. He was one of the ones I know, and there's another one, and he did a lot of like 70s album artwork.
I know exactly what you're talking about. He did a lot of sci-fi Pulp Fiction as well.
Yes, and you can see that one of the buildings, it's taken from one of his pictures.
Right,
100% it is.
What got me was the fact that it starts with the exterior view of what you can see of the ship.
Yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about here, there is a Lee. I'm going to bring you into full. What's the word I'm looking for?
What a treat for the audience!
There you go, full Lee, full on Lee there, and I'm
I'm
gonna.
just looking at myself now. It's
I'm,
just
I'm
weird.
gonna find it while we're talking. Share screen. There we go. Something strange might happen now. I hope it doesn't. It has. I'm going to put you back into full Lee. There we go. We got you in full Lee. So yeah, we were talking about this. What's it called? It's a moon mission, and it's a fake one that's been put out.
Was this supposed to be? Was it Apollo 18 that got cancelled? If someone could tell me in the comments, that'd be great. And it's supposed to be the Apollo 18 mission.
I'm just finding it now. It is. I'm sure it's Apollo 18. You're right. I'm sure you're right there. But I want to try and see if I can get the image of the ship up, because that was a load of shit, basically. But it's interesting because it might have some hidden truth to it. Because
I'm just going to nip to the comments here because Alien Spaceship just came up with a good point here. That if you listen to Buzz, a lot of the interviews he's done since are essentially telling you that they didn't go. Especially that interview he did with the little girl. Have you seen the interview with the little girl?
Yes.
Yeah, when he turned around, he said the mysteries and the I can't remember what it was, what the actual quote was now. But he says it's the reason we didn't go back is because we didn't go there, and
it was like a stutter. I did a video about it.
Yeah, and
who's put that?
Could be a crazy old man. Could be a crazy old man. There's I mean, there's at least one of them running for president right now that seems to stumble over words quite a lot. You know, it happens to people as we get older.
So you know, it's all about the craziest thing with YouTube at the minute with UFO channels. So I'm trying to find that on YouTube now. If I had tried to find that video 2 months ago, I found it straight away. I can't find it anywhere.
That's really weird.
So I can't find
now
it.
we sound like
I cannot find it. I cannot find it. It has gone. It's gone. There's only. It's like Third Phase of the Moon was saying on their show. They did a show. I think that it's the latest show they did. At the beginning of the show, they said that if you type UFO into YouTube now, you get basically the Tic Tac UFO.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
That's all you get. You can't get any up-to-date footage. Even if you change, you know, you can tinker with it and put by date and what have you. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the full description of that actual video. But basically, to cut a long story short, it was like some sort of cigar-shaped UFO, not UFO, spaceship crash. The reason why it's not a UFO because it wasn't unidentified. That was definitely a spaceship, yes. And it was crashed on the moon, and they showed a moon mission, which was okay. It looked all right for the time, but if you looked at it now,
mate, what I would say is it looked like it had a lot of money spent on it.
Yeah, this is the confusing thing with a lot of them. But
how many times have we talked about Skinny Bob? You know, it's these things.
I'll drink to Skinny Bob.
A lot of money splashed on them for some reason, and why spend all that money and then not take credit for it? The only reason I can think there'd be a reason for doing it, I mean, don't get me right? Maybe it's Joker syndrome. Maybe some people just want to watch the world burn and they just want to see a load of different things go on and they want to see a load of people go, oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's real. But if that was the case,
Lee, as long as we don't talk about current events, we're okay.
Yes,
because it's live. I can't edit it out.
Yeah. I did. I
No, you didn't. I'm just
good.
I'm
Just
just
reminding me. Yeah.
if you want that, head over to Must See Audio, because Lee, there's nothing censored with your channel at all.
No. It's like it feels like sometimes trying to get rid of my YouTube channel, but
Well, it's your Spotify. I mean, you literally, like, I put a video out of our interview, and I had to cut probably about half an hour of that.
Yeah,
because of some of the stuff we talked about, but it's all in yours.
Well, this is going back to what you're saying about YouTube. It's so tight now for things like that. People are using code words to try and have conversations.
It's ridiculous, mate.
Weird.
Honestly,
yeah.
So we've gone from the beginning, right? So we've established that you're 20% sure that they went to the moon.
Yeah.
I'm probably like 70% sure they went, and the 30% is no, never. It didn't happen. Something else happened. Maybe somebody else.
Do you think those photographs are right? Do you think what we've seen was a moon landing?
I don't know about the photographs. This is why I urge people in the comment sections, and I'm not Amazon affiliated. I haven't put an Amazon link in there, but that's where you can watch it free. If you've got an Amazon account, watch Room 237. But before you watch that, you may need to watch The Shining if you've not seen the film The Shining. But you need to watch The Shining with Jack Nicholson, Stanley Kubrick film, and then watch the documentary Room 237. It's wild. It's a wild documentary. It's bloody brilliant, and it's so right. Every little. It's not conspiracy. What they're showing in that film. I mean, even the name Room 237. That, do you know why they called it? Did you say you watched it again tonight? I watched it just before we went on this, but yeah, give it for the listeners. So the Room 237 is the moon room. And the calculation is something to do with the 237 is the distance from Earth to the moon at the time. 237,000 miles away. Yes. If you Google it, it's different. But then if you look at some other sites, it shows 237. That's what it was at the time. I think they changed it at some point. We had better calculations or better lasers, or somebody took a tape measure. I think it's but it changes distance. So I think it's the distance it is. I don't know if it's the most popular distance, or even you can tell I've had a beer. We can go wild. If we talk about the moon, we might as well go wild about the moon. I want to get on the water. I want to get on the water side of it. Right. Not yet. But is it not a coincidence that the moon is just the right size and just the right distance from us and between our sun, that it covers it totally for an eclipse? And also, why doesn't our moon spin? Because other moons do. Why is it locked to one side in But for anybody saying that, like the old Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon, one of my favorite bands. For anybody saying that the one side always stays in shade, it doesn't. There's the dark side of the moon for us. Yeah, but that side does get lit. And that's what the NASA's talking about, that in the poles of the moon where it never gets light or very little, that's where could be the sweet spot for us. Yeah. The other good one with that would be but you remember the moon orbit that was filmed? Do you remember seeing? They had it's live on YouTube. You can keep watching it. No, but there was talking about the Chan one, the Chinese one. Yeah, and it was out past the moon, and you saw the moon cross the Earth's path. Have you seen that? If someone in the comments can help me out with my explanation there, that'd be great. So you saw the moon pass the Earth's path. Okay.
Yeah. That is, without a doubt, 100% hand on heart, the most fake thing I've ever seen. I am not having anything, any other thing apart from that being.
Are you talking about the picture?
No. It was a picture.
It's a picture that looks really like you look at the scale of it and you're thinking.
It was a set. It was essentially a set of pictures because it wasn't done in like 60 frames a second. It was.
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Yes.
It doesn't look right. I have to say.
I think I am like the world's worst person at Final Cut, and I'm almost convinced I could do that.
Yeah, I can't. I've not dabbled with Final Cut yet. I want to. Oh, we have.
Does this mean
we have Mr. DB Cooper, the most generous man on YouTube in the house? How you doing, my friend?
Does this mean my beads start vibrating or something now?
Yeah, but though DB Cooper might soon get that refunded when he hears what we're talking about the moon.
Is he a big moon guy?
I actually can't remember. I've seen him loads of times when we went back in the day with UFO Proof actually talking. But Mr. DB Cooper, I want to get you on the channel at some point to talk some UFOs. But yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, Lee. It's weird. That image that is the exact image you're talking about. When I get better with this live thing, I'm going to start adding pictures in, but that takes practice, guys. You're going to have to bear with me. It took me long enough to get this wallpaper up. Sexiest wallpaper. When I get my own studio, that is going behind me. I'm going to get this it's going to be the carpet. It's going to be the wallpaper.
Ceiling.
The lot. And people are just going to go, this guy's Illuminati. I'm going to get a sleeve.
Oh, imagine that. You just have it like tattooed on you as a jumper.
I'm going to get it all. I'm going to get the Apollo rocket on my arm there, yeah. And then right at the top of it, I'm going to get the all seeing eye, and at the bottom of it, I'm going to get a slice of pizza just dribbling cheese down my fingers.
Oh, just hit all of them, hit all the marks.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, look at him, the dirty bastard!
He's sold out."
Yeah.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, if anyone from the Illuminati is listening, I am for hire. There's no like, it's not a case of selling out. I'm available for rent.
Rent boy.
Yeah, I will have as many eyes tattooed on me as you want. Oh God.
Oh yeah, I've just realized. I have just realized that your logo. Well, I haven't. I always kind of had I had my suspicions about it.
Yeah, well, I didn't design it. The other guy that does that comes on the podcast with me, he designed it.
Mate, it's a beautiful logo. But I'm all for the black and white. I like the black and white.
Yeah. Right. Hit me with the water stuff then, because I'm aware of it, but I'm sure you've been more into it than I have.
So, do you remember when they crashed that rocket into the moon?
Yes.
Not so long back, but they actually crashed it into one of the poles.
Is that they've done that before, haven't they? Because isn't the one
where it rang like a bell? Yes.
Yeah.
Bell end.
Yeah, Corbelled it.
Yeah. I love Corbell.
So do I.
It does rhyme with you want to kind of put the end on the end of the bell.
Every time.
And every time, it's just the word bell. You need to put an end on the bell.
If we were nice people, we'd want to put Christmas in front of it, but we're not.
I'm slowly but surely teaching and it's mainly all my fan club is Americans, and they are starting to learn bell end as being the most insulting word that we use in Britain. You absolute bell end. That's how you say it, people. You're a bell end. You total utter bell end.
I
And you
don't
can
think
say bell end as much as you want on YouTube because
Can you?
YouTube's an American company. They don't understand the word bell end. So if you want to say bell end on YouTube to insult somebody, just go with it.
I think it should be region locked, that sort of thing, because there's no real sort of thing as swear words in the UK. I don't know if our American listeners know.
Yeah, but it's because we all swear.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, the C bomb, that's a term of endearment.
Yeah, my grandma's favorite word.
So the second rocket they crashed into the moon. I know nothing of this.
So the most recent one that they crashed it into one of the poles, and what happened was they filmed it with this satellite. I'm not scientific, but I know they filmed it with this thermal thingamajig. I need to get a scientist on with us. I can get about 8 people on at once, but they filmed it.
I've got a scientist. I can get my cat,
and they saw like particles of water had come up, and it was something like 5% of it was water that had come up from this pole. So they're not saying that the moon actually has water on there. They're saying that there's probably been enough comets over time that have hit the moon, and there's probably enough water there that if they got a base on the moon, and I believe the next moon mission is 2004.
Yeah, as well as all the other moon missions which have been cancelled.
I've got a feeling for this one though, Lee.
I don't think we'll go back in my lifetime.
No, I think we're sending Tom Cruise there.
I would watch that feed. I wouldn't sleep. I would
find
out
going into space for his next film.
Is he?
I'm sure I told you. I told somebody this.
Oh, is it for the Mission Impossible film? You did. I think. I think you did.
For a Mission Impossible film. It should.
If he was to go into the moon, I would find out what drugs he takes, because I'd need to find out what drugs he takes. I'd need to find out what drugs The Rock takes to keep themselves motivated, and I would stay up and watch the whole thing, from launch to landing to welcome home, Tom.
Oh, the next moon mission. I'm going to stream that. I'll be booking a few days off work. I'll be streaming it over as many nights as it takes. I might even sleep live in the chair, while the astronauts are sleeping as well.
You can stream it. I bet they won't. I bet there'll be camera feed fails. There'll be all sorts of things going on. Just like Musk, just like SpaceX.
But the thing, we'll get onto that. But the thing is, with all these pieces of, and we can go as long as we want tonight. Well, as long as you want, as you say, Alien, I'm knackered, because I don't have to edit it.
We might have to play your video for a break in the middle, so we can go get some beer.
Oh yeah. No, if you want to get beer, people understand. People understand. So the thing is, though, they go back. What? Say if they do go back in 2004 and they get the first jigsaw piece, the first piece of Lego laid, for the base. Okay. One, they've got to decide where they lay it. So if they're gonna put it near one of the poles, well, the pole areas are always dark, they're very dark at all times. There's very little light that hits that pole, and that's why they're saying that this area possibly has the most amount of water there that's preserved, because the moon. Yeah, I can't remember the temperature that it goes up to, but you put me on there, I'm fucked. You see in this skin, it's gone. I will evaporate in a second, even if I'm in one of them beautiful space suits.
You wouldn't notice with you; it'd be the same color as your skin.
I know. Yeah. You would see me if you was on Earth. You would see me reflect.
Yeah, they'd be looking through the window. Go, oh, shit, Ollie's in a t-shirt. Oh no, it's okay. It's not a skin. It's just a suit.
So, I've got 33 people watching. It's my favorite number. Yeah, guys, sorry, it's going to be hard to actually converse with the chat. I do keep watching, guys, and I appreciate all the comments, and I will be watching this video back. But if you could smash that thumb, that would mean a lot. And maybe share it out on some social media. But yeah, are they going to
just give Alien Addicts some money? We'll notice those ones.
Listen, I'll just have a beer. Somebody send me a crate of beer. You know something? The next time next year, when Weatherspoons is properly open and I can have a proper, I'm going to give my table number and put the app out there and say I'm at this table. Fill it up, guys. Because you can. I found that out.
That's amazing.
Oh, mate, I found that out earlier this year before lockdown. We are going to come back to the moon, but this is what we do. I was in the Weatherspoons. It's a pub in the UK, and my mate introduced me to the app, and literally we're just ordering drinks. You know, a Weatherspoons, you can spend. It's cheap, isn't it, Lee? It's a cheap pub.
I like a Weatherspoons.
Yeah, but it's good.
It's a cheap pub, but they always feel like pubs as well.
When I found the app, guess how much I spent between probably 6:30 till 10 p.m.
How much?
£80. I shit you not. I'm like, I've got the app. I'll buy drinks for the table.
Oh no!
So this is what I'm going to do next year. Where instead of donations like super chats and that, I'm going to go, guys. I'm live. I'm in Weatherspoons. This is my table number. This is the app.
I've always wanted to do the pub podcast, but I've never quite had the.
That's got a ring to it.
Never had the bottle.
Has it been done before?
There's another joke in there, but it's really weird. Well, we've diverted slightly. I'll make sure not to say any of the keywords. But it's really weird when you're saying like where the pubs open in the UK. Because for any American listeners, I live on a small island in between Ireland and the United Kingdom. There's only 80,000 people on the island. But we've only got like 5 of the things of the people with the bug at the minute. So everything's fine. Everything's back to normal where we work, we socialize, all the pubs are open, all that sort of stuff. And it's really odd because it's like you turn the news on and it's like watching the Armageddon from the VIP lounge.
Mate, I'm coming. Leaving the way. I'm coming to live with you. So yeah, they get this base. Okay. The choice is, do we have it in the light or do we go straight down to the pole where we know there's possibility that we can salvage water to live off, to make it so we can travel far out into space? Or do we have it where we've got, a really good light source? Because I tell you something, I wouldn't want to live in a dark place.
No. But it's doable,
The energy as well. You got to think about the energy.
Yeah. We're not supposed to live underground, are we? Yeah, we're not supposed to live out of sunlight. There'll
be a lot of vitamin D tablets being taken, I'll tell you that.
No, not half as many as what's being taken around the world right now. But I don't think we're gonna not 2024. It's really weird. The only thing I keep hearing about, as far as like the new technology and stuff that's going on about, is apparently we've got really cool mesh tires now. Have you seen the videos of the mesh tires which deform under the rocks?
The new Rover you're talking about? Yes, I've seen that. That's a beautiful thing. That looks like something out of a new Batman film.
It does look like
one that we're thinking of.
Yeah, but I mean, this is always the way, though, isn't it? With these sort of things, is they look futuristic for the time. It's the same as the Elon Musk's Dragon. What was it? Dragon? I want to say Dragon Force, but that's not it.
Dragon Force. That sounds like some sort of
I think it's like some sort of
Should we
anime
go-
cartoon.
You know about
Um,
SpaceX Dragon? What was it? Which dragon was it? Elon Musk.
I can't remember, but the one he sent the two lads up. I
What
watched
was
it.
Elon Musk's SpaceX Dragon called?
Crew Dragon. According to BBC.com, Crew Dragon evolved from an earlier design, called Dragon 1, which launched 20 times on missions to deliver cargo to the ISS between May 2012 and March 2020.
Thank you, love. So, yeah, it's the Dragon.
Dragon Force is a band. Someone's just told us. Thank you very much.
Dragon X.
Yes.
That
See,
thing's
inside-
a beautiful piece of.
yeah, but it looks exactly like 2001: Space Odyssey. When you look at the suits and you look at the inside, so I realize the inside of the craft is smaller, but it's got that very minimal feel to it and stuff like that. And I don't know. Do you know what really got me with that was you saw the thing that was on the tail of it, what people were thinking was a mouse on the craft. Now, I'm not sure it was a mouse, but it was damn sure something, and it was something that went the opposite way to the way the rocket was going.
Yeah, well, it might have been a bit of a bit of foil or something.
No, because it moves up, stops, and then goes back again.
It could be a bit of foil that moves up, stops, then goes back again.
How many 1,000 miles an hour are they going at that point?
I know what you're saying because I've seen that piece of footage and I'm like, what is that?
Well, my friend,
I think even Elon Musk watching that would be like, why is there a fucking mouse on my tail? You know,
that's it. My mate, he's
one
really
of the guys said in the chat earlier, and I can't remember who put it, but it looks so good.
Yes,
it looks
I
so,
saw that.
What did he say? It looks so. What did Elon say?
You know it's real because it looks so fake.
That's the one.
Yeah, and I love a Musk. I like the idea of a Musk. I want to believe that he is this altruistic, crazy billionaire genius that's just going out there making shit happen. He seems to get on with Joe Rogan. I fucking love Joe Rogan.
Oh, I do.
So yeah, I want it. I want it all to be right. But
I would lick Joe, and they said Hulk Hogan. I would lick Joe Rogan's nipple live to get on the show. You know, I'd do that. I'm not a nipple licker, not a male nipple licker anyway. But you know, the guy is very talented when it comes to this sort of platform because he doesn't get drunk beforehand. That's not a good idea. And this was my first show tonight, and I've got a little bit tipsy. Which I probably shouldn't have done.
Did you see the podcast he just did with Alex Jones?
I saw about the first half an hour of it.
It's pretty good.
Yes, it is. I'm going to finish watching it. I am partial to a bit of Alex Jones.
What was weird with that, and what I thought was good through that whole podcast, was the fact that they kept fact checking Alex Jones all the way through the show, like brutally fact checking him.
Yeah, the guy's not as crazy as you actually think, is he?
Nope, there was nothing he said on that podcast that didn't turn out to be true, regardless of how crazy it was. And I think half the battle with Alex Jones is because I think if you did the same thing with David Icke, for instance, I think the wheels would start coming off things.
David Icke would not go on.
No. I think he would be mauled.
Mauled by Joe Rogan.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, physically and intellectually mauled. But I was surprised because at first when when Rogan turned around to young Jamie and said like, I want to fact check that before we carry on. I was there thinking, well, this is odd. This is I'm not sure this is going to go well for Jones, and then maybe it won't go well for Rogan either because I thought people were going to come like back at that. But like you say, I mean, there wasn't a lot he was wrong about. with all those things he was talking about.
Joe Rogan did not believe for a long time that we went to the moon.
No, he was a big like zero moon guy, and I still think he is a zero moon guy. To be perfectly honest.
Oh, he said it's been turned round.
Yeah. So
It's been made to say that.
No, I think there's, I think his platform's so big now. He has to be like careful of his views to a certain point.
So Joe Rogan is kind of like, for me right now, he's the biggest person to push the whole UFO thing. He really is. And I know it's on Fox News and stuff like that, but he's the man right now that can push this out to the world, basically.
I've always wondered how it would happen. You know, what's if there was a UFO disclosure, how because surprise to anyone in the comments, consider I've come on your YouTube channel, I 100% believe in UFOs. Surprise.
You've seen them.
Yeah, yes. I've always wondered how it would happen. Like what would you do? How could you because it's often been like the whole like the president coming out and making an address on the White House lawn, or maybe Vladimir Putin pulls the lid off something before everybody else does. And we've seen from countries like Belgium, because I think Belgium were like the first ones, weren't they, to like declass like their like strange UFO stuff, because is that where we got the picture of the triangle, that really crazy picture?
I don't know if it was Belfast. Was it Belfast?
No, Belgium.
Do you know something though?
Yeah.
And all my subscribers know this. I know fuck all about UFOs, so I just preach about them. But someone in the comments, was it Belgium? Was it Belgium?
It was definitely Belgium that did that picture was taken from. But the thing is, we can't have it as a leader coming out at the minute, because every country seems to have such little faith in leadership right now. I don't know how that works, because it's everywhere's so polarized, or at least between like the UK and the US. So you would only have half the population of that country believe something, whereas the other half of the population wouldn't. But if you had somebody with like the guy gets like 100 million downloads for his on his podcast. So if you're hitting 100 million like downloads on average, they're not the same people that download your podcast every week. So your audience is already much bigger than 100 million. That's insane. It's an insane amount of people to get to from different parts of the world and different demographics. And now it seems obvious that it would take that type of person to have the smoking gun, if you want. Now, who gives them that gun is a different question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to get onto the whole like the Bob Lazar thing, but he was really sold on Bob Lazar, and also
as am I.
And Fravor, you know, he was like lapping that up, and you know, everybody knows I'm into the TTSA stuff. I like David Fravor. I think the guy definitely saw something out there, and I think Nick West needs to kind of like interview David Fravor. That's what needs to happen. Need to get Nick West. Or is it Mick West? Nick West.
I think they should both get on Rogan.
Yes, I'd love to see that.
I think you should have because David Fravor was the pilot, wasn't he? Just so I've got the right person.
Yes.
Yeah. If you got him,
it wasn't that guy in the back seat. What they call them? I forgot the name of them.
Co-pilot.
This America uses a different name for it. David Fravor.
Wingman.
Not a wingman either. It's called a. I've forgotten it. It's gone.
like screen bitch.
Yes, the screen bitch in the back. But yeah,
If you got him, Lex Fieldman, and David Fravor on the podcast, Nick West, David Fravor, and Lex Fieldman, have the four of them on a podcast. That'd be great.
And Alex Jones can walk in halfway through.
Yeah. And then, well, you could even have Eddie Bravo come in there and turn around and say, no, it's flat. They're not real.
So here's the thing for me. So since we're on the subject of moon, you've just said flat earthers. So for anybody who's known me for a long time, I accept anybody on the channel. I've interviewed a guy who's into flat earth. Well, he corrected me on that when I posted the video and said interview a flat earther. He messaged me saying, I'm really pissed off because you've just called me a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. I'm a globe denier. And he's a cool guy. And I've spoken to him about it a few times. But what I wonder is, so the moon is round, yeah? The moon is thank you, third phase of moon. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. Us UFO channels and whatever we are, we need the support right now because YouTube has made it very clear that you cannot search for UFOs on YouTube right now. But yeah, sorry, what was I saying? Just kind of.
You interview the flat earther. He didn't want to be a flat earther. He was a globe denier.
So the moon, yeah, you see the moon out there is round. Okay. The planets, when you look through a telescope, and I've looked through a telescope and seen Mars before, is round. Okay. And it looks spherical. But we're the only one that is a flat plane. Thank you, Mr.
I mean, I take it he's because I'm not a flat earther. But it's been one of my pet conspiracy theories now for a long time. Like I
love watching them. It's my guilty pleasure. I like to watch a good, flat Earth conversation.
There's I'm cool to shout out another channel on here, aren't I? That's okay.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, cool.
Shout away, mate. Shout away.
There's a YouTube channel called John Smith Global Eye, and I enjoy watching that one. He does the, the gang of people that went around the UK doing the setting the signs up in stalls and things like that. He came up with the Isle of Man as well. Actually.
Stickers on bins. I saw one.
And they film it all.
Richard.
And each video he puts up is like 5 hours, and I've lost Sundays watching him speak to people, or watching their group speak to people. I don't particularly buy it, but I take it you're like the globe denier that was on your channel would have been part of the space is fake.
So the globe denier on my channel, interesting conversation. Great guy. I've known him for quite a long time now, so I literally can't say a bad word about this guy, and that's not because I think he's going to watch this, because what he actually said was he doesn't believe it's flat. He believes Earth's bigger than it will they're letting on. So all this time I'm thinking I'm thinking, yes, I've got an interview with a flat earther here. But he's like, I think Earth's bigger than what they're saying.
That would be the obvious thing to me, because the only part of the flat Earth thing that gets me is the distances. I find the distances because even the I can't remember I can't remember the distance. It's not my job to remember the distance. I'm not fighting for a cause here, but I believe
Room 237.
No, not that one. The longest photograph ever taken would be impossible, and that sticks in my head quite a lot. But that would be what I did. I would think that, well, clearly it's just fucking bigger, isn't it? That seems that seems the most logical answer than we are encased in a glass dome.
Do you know what I love about this, Lee? We've gone from
we always do, mate. We always do.
They've gone from the first moon mission to a little bit of water on the moon to Joe Rogan to flat earthers.
Well, I do think
it's brilliant.
But regardless of how far apart they seem to be, I do think the flat Earth thing does resonate with the moon thing. You know, because that's where you go into this crazy thing of like whether is it an artificial satellite. You know, it's that. I mean, that to me sounds like one of the more believable crazy things is because without the moon we can't have life. So, you know, it's just there in that perfect place, just like the Earth's there in the Goldilocks zone, and all these things have added up, and we're here.
Well, a good friend of mine, and he was a subscriber for years, way before Alien had it, when I had a channel called Alvis 51, which is what this channel was. Gordon Hamilton, rest in peace, my friend, because he's passed away now. But he said to me when I was about to interview 007, he said, "Can you ask him to explain meteorites?" So ask a flat Earth to explain meteorites. Ask a flat Earth to explain, you know, things coming through our atmosphere.
Yeah,
most of them believe that, you know, in the firmament, the dome, that you can't get through it. And it got me a thinking that when we're talking about the moon, you look at the moon. So this is what I always say, and I think I said this to 007. I said, well, how do you explain all the craters on the moon? You know, so if Earth's flat and there is whatever's up there, what is that up there, and why does it have so many fucking holes in it? You know,
well, meteors are one of the flat Earth like proofs.
Okay,
give myself air quotes.
Maybe I've not watched them enough then.
Yeah, is that? Let me get this right. Again, it's not really my war to fight, but if you think we've all been outside watching shooting stars, yeah, flat earthers or some flat earthers say, well, if we were a spinning ball in space with the rest of space around us, we should see them come upwards rather than just always down.
Okay, so you're saying because it's round, because you're seeing, so you should really see them coming that way up,
or in every direction.
But if you're at that side, then you would, you know, if you so
but it would carry past.
So if I'm in Britain and somebody else is in Italy,
they're seeing it come down. Yeah, obviously.
They would see it come down, but I probably wouldn't see it because I can't see that far ahead.
But in that case, what you see coming down, they should see coming up. You get me?
I get what you're saying, and it's fucking with my head.
Alien Addict's going to be a flat Earth by the time this is over.
I think I need to get another beer, mate.
It's again. What I think that is to me is tell you if there's any flat earthers in the chat, I'd be interested to know out of the, you know, because conspiracy theories tend to gravitate to other ones, and I'd be interested to know if there's anyone, or even if you're not a flat earther, is there any people that entertain the idea? You know, who's not married to the ball?
Do you know what's going to happen when somebody clicks on this video tomorrow to actually view it? There's going to be one of them Google Wikipedia things that talks about the flat Earth, that says, you know, have you ever seen that when you clicked on a flat Earth video, it automatically brings up this kind of like flat Earth is this, that, and the other. You've not seen that? Oh, it's brilliant. It's every flat Earth video. So I need to stop saying flat Earth, otherwise I'm going to get one of them little things on my. It's like a little Wikipedia thing that Google seems to try to educate you. I don't need.
One of those. Yeah.
I need educating. I can make my own mind up.
I got one of those the other day, an Instagram post because I mentioned Big C, Little V.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We won't be mentioning that on here.
No, absolutely not.
Otherwise, we'll be having one of them from your logo.
Yeah, but yeah, I think for me, flat Earth is one of those things where if you want to, you can argue any point. Do you know what I mean? If you just stonewall the other side, you can argue any point. And I think
this is the thing. Did you see Elon Musk? We always talk about him, but he is the man.
He's the most interesting person on the planet right now.
So that designer is he did you see the thing where he's flying that? I think it's a Chinese designer, and he's flying him round the moon on the they call it Starship now. They've renamed it Starship, and it was going to be called something else. No,
the Starship's always been the Starship, the big silver thing that hasn't.
It wasn't the Starship. Anyway, it was not originally called the Starship. It was called.
Oh, was it not?
No, yeah, it's called.
Was it called 60s science fiction rocket, which looks impossible to fly?
Well, anyway, yeah, he's flying. This one guy has got a ticket to fly around the moon. I think this was last year, and he's flying him round. Now, Elon Musk has got a good sense of humor, yeah?
Yeah.
I would, if I was Elon Musk, I would go after the biggest flat earther and go, listen, mate, you think it's flat? You're coming on my rocket. I'm going to fly you around the moon.
What if he's the biggest flat earther?
Who, Elon?
Yeah.
Are you saying he might have inside information?
Yeah, what if he's the biggest flat earther? I've often had this like thought that on Alex Jones they had Eddie Bravo on to talk about flat Earth, and at one point, Eddie Bravo kind of stuttered over his words and kind of made, he just said, "Oh, look, one of my friends," he said,
"Sorry, that's the guy. That's the guy who's flying around the moon, the billionaire."
Oh yeah, with the impronounceable name.
Try.
Two guys with this Yansuki Miyazawa.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm going with Yansuki.
See, if I was going to go around the moon as in a billionaire, I would want some of my mates with me. I'd want some of my mates with me.
Yeah.
I want a bar, and I'd be, opening champagne as I'm passing by. But go on. Sorry for interrupting, Lee.
It's okay, but someone's mentioned Star Trek Discovery. There's more chance of the Earth being flat than me watching Star Trek Discovery. But yeah, no, I've lost. Oh, sorry, Eddie Bravo. He said one of my closest friends. He said that's so famous you wouldn't believe it is a flat earther, and then that got me thinking about Eddie Bravo, and I thought, well, his big friend is Joe Rogan, and that wouldn't surprise me if Rogan was a secret flat earther.
Has he interviewed a flat earther?
Well, Eddie Bravo has been on the show
other than Eddie.
Times.
Other than Eddie.
No, he was supposed to have Eric Dubé on, and it all fell apart for some reason.
Because I'd like to see him get, what's his name? Him who apparently discovered it and he didn't discover it. Well, him who, what's his name?
Mark Sargent.
Yes, I think he would rip him a new arsehole.
Do you know what? I watched, because I've watched loads of flat earth stuff. I don't believe him, but fuck, that guy seems like a nice dude.
What, Mark?
Yeah, he really seems like a nice guy.
He was a games developer.
Yeah, I know.
And you know, you know about Todd Howard, don't you? It's full of shit.
That's Todd Howard as a flat earther would not surprise me.
That's going to be it, isn't it? It's going to leave Bethesda now. It's going to be the next Mark Sargent.
While we're outing ourselves as complete nerds, I found flat Earth books in Skyrim.
Did you?
Yep.
A couple of them.
Oh fuck! I don't know where they were. It was in a house, but yeah, the Skyrim universe must be a flat Earth because there was a book about the firmament and stuff like that in it.
So Elon Musk, he obviously must be getting a little bit like nipples hard right now because of this discovery that there is water on the moon. Do you think?
Absolutely guarantee that wasn't news to him.
Yes, you're probably right. But do you think he's got a plan?
I don't know. I mean, right, let's be honest here. And I've said I love a bit of Musk. I think he's great.
I'm saying I would go every day with Musk over all the team at NASA.
Yeah. I will stand by any man that sounds like a
fragrance. Unless NASA wants to sponsor me.
Then I love NASA and your little lizard tongue. The fuck, I forgot. I've lost what I am now. Now you've got me thinking.
Elon Musk and water on the moon.
Right, but what?
He's excited about Mars.
What's Musk done? The No, right. Yeah, well, hang on.
A shit computer game in the 90s.
That was to make his money. So he whatever went on before that, he's been really good at acquiring companies. He acquired Tesla. You know, it wasn't his company. He sold PayPal obviously before that to make himself this ridiculous billionaire that he is now. He's had the ideas of doing the Hyperloop, which it doesn't like. I don't know what's going on with that anymore. The reusable rockets, which I would say are questionable at best because it just seems weird. Like even the sending the car up into space, and you have those few frames before the whole thing comes up when it looked like it was on a tripod in a studio. You know, there's questions about Musk, and I want it. Like I want it to be real. It's in the same way as I always want conspiracies to be real because it's more interesting.
That car will be fucked by now.
That car should have been fucked when they sent it into space at best, because he said it was a car off a showroom. At fucking best, the tires should have exploded.
Because but this is what excites me about Elon Musk, because he's like, was it just like was it a normal car? Yep, normal car.
Yep.
So surely he knew that question would be asked.
I know some shit about paint as well. I'm pretty up on me paints. I'm pretty sure a car car paint, as strong as it is to like scratches and stuff like that, can't handle the extreme colds and the extreme heats of space. It can't handle like a knobhead's car key when he's walking past your car.
But this was like literally we saw what about how long did we see? It was an hour of the car. Are you saying the paint should have kind of
it should have bubbled?
So I mean, now they are saying that this thing's flying past Mars, but there's probably not much left of it. There's not Musk left of it.
Hey, plot twist. I like the idea that maybe he killed somebody and stuck them in the suit. Oh no, sorry, he didn't kill them. He was sadistic enough just to drug them. But it was like one of those ones where they were still awake, but they couldn't move. And then he launched them into space.
It was probably someone that had stellar evidence that the Earth was flat.
It was either stellar evidence that the Earth was flat, or like the last man that was trying to look into his accounts.
So, how much did you? How many of these flamethrowers did you send out?
Sorry, that's it. Sorry, there you go. That's what he's given the world. If we're all perfectly honest, he's given us a flamethrower.
So, the space race, I believe, could possibly be back on now.
I think before recent events, you were probably right. I don't know. Who knows? All bets are fucking off now.
I mean, China's been making some big headway with some of the. They've probably given us some of the best footage that we've had.
Did you see the thing about the rogue planet in the Milky Way that's been discovered?
You're talking
today?
about the Nippleroo.
Well, there's been a rogue planet confirmed that's fucking its way through the Milky Way today. No, but we've found something. And yeah, in my mind, going back to 2001, 2002, up to 2012, I would be calling it Nibiru and Planet X. And that, like, is it Apophis as well? It's been called. Yeah, that I've genuinely read that, and that sent chills down me, because that, like, Lee Fact in 2012, I bought in to the 2012 end of the world thing big time.
Like, I had a mate that did. He was crying on my shoulder in the kitchen over a gin and tonic.
You see, I'm pretty hard, and I'm a man, so I didn't do anything like that. But But
you thought we were all going to snuff it?
Yeah, I was worried to the point of mild anxiety, and then obviously, like, then I think that would be the liberating thing about an apocalypse like that. Is at first to be mild anxiety, then you go, can't do anything about it, can I?
Well, that's it for me. So my mate was kind of upset about it. I was like, well, if we're all going to die at once, I'm all right with it, because I'm a little bit selfish like that. So if everybody's dying as well as me, I didn't have kids back then, so I was like, that's absolutely fine. That's fine. If it can't be helped, at least I get to live on this earth when the earth actually goes down. So I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. As long as I get a good seat.
Yeah.
See what's going on. I'll take that.
That would be my luck, wouldn't it? Is that it hits on the other side?
Oh yeah, that would be shit.
It would, wouldn't it?
Can you imagine the actual the tourism and how it'd boom to see the end of the world on in
you would be the apocalypse version of a gooch. All the action.
There'd still be silly bastards trying to earn money off it. Like, we're fucking making a fortune off this.
Well, see, that's the thing that calmed me down. I thought, well, we're talking about the end of the world within like a couple of years, and these guys are still trying to sell me the book. The sensible man would just be giving the book away by now, because it doesn't matter.
Do you see Ghostbusters 2? You've seen Ghostbusters 2, I mean,
yes. Yeah.
Have you seen the beginning of it, when Peter Venkman's interviewing the guy who's predicting the end of the world, and he goes, I predict the end of the world is going to be on August 20 something.
Yeah.
And he goes, actually this year, isn't it? And he's like, you're releasing your book like a month before. You're not going to get it's like, yeah, but I've just got a strong feeling, and it's not about the book.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, it's the conspiracy theorists are, not our good selves, because we're not punting anything. At least if we're wrong, we're being wrong honestly,
drunkenly
and honestly drunkenly. But they are the new snake oil salesmen.
Oh yeah.
These guys that would rock town to town in a little wooden van, and have alien addicts, like elixir to fix compunculation and hydradulation, and
give me some elixir, company. I don't care what's in it. I will sell it to my subscribers.
Let me start on it. I'll start on it to people. So yeah, I mean that's the problem you get. It's where the stigma comes from, and that, I think that's what really annoys me about the whole thing, especially like looping back to the beginning of the podcast where we talk about both our fathers who are have a I would go as close to say a physical reaction to being upset about people questioning the moon landings. And I always think to myself, people that like don't entertain conspiracy theories, it must be a really boring life. You know, the only advancements that's ever been made, like all the way through time, has been people that have been willing to sit down and have conversations about complicated and ridiculous issues and situations. So why can't we entertain these ideas now? It gives it more validity as well when you've got companies like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram that just decide to censor certain hashtags and stuff like that. You know, even to the point where we can't say one of the letters of the alphabet on this podcast. You know, that gives it all more validity in my eyes.
I mean, it's the world we're living in today, isn't it? I mean, it at some point they had to put like a cork in it, so to speak, to stop us. You know, they reeled us in with the carrot. You know, they put this amazing platform out where you could speak your own mind, no matter what you believed in, whether you believed that people could live in a small turd, you know, or that the earth is flat, or that there's people living on the moon.
Yeah.
Little green men that actually drove the moon here. The moon is actually a spaceship. There's people that talk about this, but you try and search that on YouTube now, nothing.
And that's what confuses me is
takes the fun out of it.
Well, not only does it take the fun out of it, how dangerous is it? If you're telling me it's dangerous for this sort of stuff to be around, I want a bloody good reason as to why it's dangerous.
I'm almost scared to speak about it now because YouTube might be like speaking about me.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if part of the algorithm was to check in on what people are saying about the company. That would only be good optics, wouldn't it? Or good info about the optics of your company.
But yeah, on that note, back to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going back. 2040. According to Google. That's what Google says.
I hope so. I mean, realistically, wasn't this...
I'll ask it.
I'm surprised.
When are we going back to the moon?
If you got a Huawei.
She spoke to me this afternoon. I do have a Huawei.
It's not going to tell you the truth, is it?
Great camera, though.
It's a great camera. P30
Pro.
Yeah. You can take cracking pictures of the moon.
You can zoom into a crater.
Yeah, it's absolutely mental. It's mental. It was really funny. It's kind of moon related. A guy I was working with the other day. I was showing him because it was nighttime, and I showed him what you could do zooming into the moon with the P30, and then he sent me a picture today saying, "Yeah, well, I just got a new iPhone, and this is what you can do on the. This is how you can zoom into the moon on the new iPhone." And he sent me a picture of Neil Armstrong stood on the moon with a flag.
Did you see the guy that went round interviewing trying to interview Neil Armstrong?
Got a thump off Buzz, didn't he?
Yes,
Uncle Buzz belted him.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
I'll tell you what. We'll take like literally a 3-minute break. I'm gonna grab a beverage.
You're gonna slap your video on.
I'm not gonna slap that video on, but I am gonna slap a video on where Buzz clonks in one. because I think it's funny as hell. I did like a little bit of a rave video quite a long time
I'm
ago.
gonna have to put some cardboard boxes out.
No, you are going to have to put some, but people, it might be like a little bit of a, get people a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember the word I'm looking for is, and I can't remember where the video is, Lee. Where's the video? Right, it must be around here somewhere. I think I found it. There we go. I found it. I think it's here. You can't hear that, can you? Or see it?
No.
Perfect.
Oh, I can hear something slightly.
There we go. There we go. We'll get this on. I'm going to grab a beverage. It's only a few minutes long for people to watch. So don't go anywhere, people. We have lost a couple of people, probably because we're talking about Flat Earth.
Probably.
We're getting banned. But let me put this screen share on. Share the screenage. Has that worked? Oh my word. Look at that. Look at that.
It's whenever somebody says, "Did this work?" and the next words are, "Oh my word," it's usually a no.
Tell me if you can hear this.
Houston,
You hear that? Perfect. I'm going to grab a beer.
the Eagle has landed.
3 American astronauts who joins us today. Lieutenant Colonel David Wolf, Colonel Alvin Drew, and the second man on the moon, the legendary Colonel Buzz Aldrin. Welcome to the White House.
Second man on the moon, the legendary Colonel Buzz Aldrin.
We're also joined by our great Secretary of Commerce, Wilbur Ross, who spent the morning negotiating trade deals with South Korea. And as you know, that trade deal is coming due.
Negotiating trade deals with South Korea. And as you know, that trade deal is
At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? The Vice President will serve as the Council's chair. The privatization of certain aspects is going to play a very crucial role, don't you think? They are truly into it. Our journey into space will not only make us stronger and more prosperous, but will unite us behind grand ambitions and bring us all closer together. Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that? And to never stop wondering, hoping, and dreaming about what lies beyond the stars. So I just want to tell you that we are now going to sign an executive order, and this is going to launch a whole new chapter for our great country. And people are very excited about it, and I can tell you I'm very excited about it. Thank you all very much.
Columbia, this is Houston, AOS, over.
Houston, Columbia, gate, over.
Roger, the EVA is progressing beautifully. They're setting up the flag now. I guess you're about the only person around that doesn't have TV coverage of the scene.
That's all right, I don't mind a bit.
They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the limousine.
Are you getting a TV picture now, Houston?
Are you back, Ollie?
Oh, yes, we are getting
I am, mate.
you're with you now.
I think
Just
some
let
people
it
hear it.
Yeah, yes, they can do.
Various phases that a person can traveling on the Olympic surface. You do have to be,
Why 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Do you think you can get to heaven without repenting? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? You tell him to get out of here. We'll call the police. We pay. Come on in here. We'll call the police. You like that? Why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon?
It doesn't, sir. I don't have nothing to do with this. We
Okay.
cannot solicit on this property.
We just paid to rent out the penthouse and shoot up there. So
You can't solicit like this.
keep.
All right. Well, then I go through my man.
You got to keep shooting, man. Okay. Well, you can put it on your shoulder. Don't be shy.
You really like it?
You're the one who said you walked on the moon when you didn't. Calling the kettle black. If I ever thought of saying I
You
misrepresented
get away
myself.
from me.
You're a coward and a liar and a thief.
There you go. That was my edit from years ago.
That was a cool video, mate.
Well, I just wanted something to to pass the time while I went and grabbed another beverage.
It gave me the chance to have an emergency wee as well.
Yeah, I had one of those. It's not the same as when you don't do it live, because you've got to kind of see, if you don't have a beer. See, this is the trick. Don't drink while doing live videos, because you need a wee.
See, I did a podcast with a I'm trying to think of we can say that one still. He was like a 5G truther.
Mm-hmm.
And that podcast, that was wild actually. If anyone's interested in that
I've watched it. Listen to it.
Go look for Musty Audio on wherever you want to. You can, it's on YouTube as well. Don't do it now, we're busy. But if you look for Musty Audio on everything and go through the shows, it would have been about maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and there's quite a lot of shows in between, but you'll find it. Yeah, that was a wild show.
Once this video's out, which might take a little bit to upload, once it's finished being live, put comment. I'll pin your comment, but put that video link for that exact
I will do. Yeah,
and I'll pin it so people can check it out, because it's very entertaining.
Yeah. It was a strange one. That I almost felt when I listened back to it, I thought I should have challenged him more, because I think
no. It's, to be fair, you listened, and that's kind of you gave the guy his
platform. The platform is there.
His platform.
Because I'm not convinced by the dangers of 5G.
No, the thing is, I mean, I've told you this before. I've a long time ago, I used to work in a phone shop, and I remember when it was 2G going to 3G, the same argument.
Yeah,
3G going to 4G, same argument. So I don't buy into that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm worried about the social impacts.
That's the thing, and this is the thing. Before we get back onto the moon, but that's the only thing that kind of like worries me, especially in this day and age, because I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and the 4-year-old now has stolen my tablet, but the 2-year-old wants it as well. So these kids now are kind of getting straight in with the technology straight away, and that's the most worrying thing, because
it's a difficult balancing act as well. Because what do? You can't turn your child into a Luddite. Do you know what I mean? Where it's, by the time, because so what? Yeah, you've 2 years, and what's your other one?
2 and 4, nearly 5.
So I'm sort of I'm in the middle. I've got a 3-year-old, and I think, well, chances are you're going to be much more in the realm of going into school and using tablets and laptops than you are pens and papers and stuff like that. Even to the point, I was speaking to my dad the other day. I was saying, I wonder whether my son will have to learn how to drive. Real autonomous. Because you're talking at, like, if the driving age for the UK is 16, if it stays the same in 13 years, it could quite easily, like Teslas will be reasonable second-hand price cars by then with the auto drive stuff. So do you have to do it then? Can you just buy yourself a vehicle and hop in it without, as long as you promise, or you in the same way as when you've got an R plate on, you can't go over a certain speed. If you don't pass your driving test, you're not allowed to drive it, but you can get in and let it drive you.
Well, this going back to the Teslas there, I mean, so these things, it's interesting with the self-drive, and I know there's been a lot of things that have been said about the self-drive in the Teslas, but when you look at the technology that he's put on the Dragon versus like the technology that you see that's on one of the space shuttles, it's a country mile difference when you look at the tech there. It's like looking at the first Alien film and then looking at something like Star Trek. Like
yeah. I miss the old green computer screens on sci-fi films, though.
Well, I streamed it. I streamed the game the other night.
It's good. The game's great.
I never saw the Alien.
It feels so much like the film.
I don't know if people want to see gaming on this channel, so it was just kind of like a test stream. If they do, then I'll gladly pick it back up again.
It was late because I went to bed because I saw you streaming live. I thought, oh, what are you doing? I had a look. I thought I was just going to comment after I watched a bit. I thought no, because I'm going to get in a conversation then, and that means I'm going to be up for another half an hour.
I was literally just testing this platform, mate. That's all. Yeah. But the Elon Musk's SpaceX, the systems that are on that, look very similar to what you'd see in a Tesla. With the whole touchscreen thing. And it's just so futuristic. It looks amazing. But I mean, when you see that thing dock on the ISS, it looks a little bit out of place, when you see the tech there.
Yeah, it does.
Wires everywhere inside.
I see. I've got a. If I know we were going to talk about this, I'd have dragged a few clips ready for it.
I'm trying to get us back onto the moon subject, if I'm honestly.
Well, what do you feel about the ISS then, to get back there? Because you mentioned ISS.
It's been there a long time, hasn't it? It's still here.
But have you seen any of the sort of discrepancies in the film footage?
Yes. Yeah. I've seen like the glitches and this, that, and the other, but a lot of it can be put down to JPEG artifacts. So when there's a live feed, like you might even get it on our live feed.
It can do, but
might look like a lizard.
The big. Well, I think that's what all of that stuff is, all the lizard stuff. I think, but the have you seen the one where they sort of all swirl around, where they stood in line, then it all sort of swirls and goes?
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah,
but it's only the men that do it. It's not the men. There's a woman there as well. I'm not sexist on this channel.
Only the people.
It's only the people that swirl the actual international state. Yeah, but they're moving objects, and I think it can have something to do with the color of the clothing.
I showed that to my friend who's he's involved in marketing, and he's a bit of a whiz with After Effects and stuff. It's essentially it's been his career. Like artwork has been his career, and he doesn't understand how that. He said the only he believes the only reason that would have happened is because if it's two feeds. He said if it was one feed, he said regardless of whether it's emotion or not, you're essentially the still objects are still like the still objects in your background are still moving. It's still a moving shot, which is all coming to us in one go. And he said there would be something else. He said we wouldn't just see people. He said that's an overlaid image onto a static background.
So here's my argument there for that, because I understand what you're saying, and when I watched that, I was like, "That's fucking weird." And I've even put a video out on my channel where just one of the guys moves and the rest of them are fine. So one of the guy glitches. One of the guys glitches, but none of the others do. But here's my argument here. Surely a company like NASA, if they want to fake something, pre-record it, make it the best quality you can, then maybe glitch it a tiny bit and just put it out to the public. Don't let it do that. Why would it need to do that? Do you know what I mean?
I'd be interested to know why they have to do it live. The other thing I have an issue with, as far as what we see from astronauts and people on the ISS, especially like you think of the forces that have to go through. It's like when we talked about people going to the moon and stuff like that.
That's my thing.
You had these guys that were units of men, like Neil Armstrong, for instance, looked like a American hero, for want of better words. Do you know what I mean? He was the picture of an exceptional military guy. Regardless of maybe that was for optics. Maybe it's what was necessary. I don't believe the podgy fat men that are on the ISS are quite what you would consider physical specimens. And I would think that even just if you can imagine zero gravity, because that's all we've got.
Well, I could probably imagine it when in the 90s when I was on a night out.
Right. Could you imagine the core strength you would have to operate in zero gravity for that long? Just the moving around, like swimming, for instance. I know swimming's resistance.
Yeah.
But surely the core strength you would need, and given the fact that you haven't got the resistance you'd have on Earth, there would be so much muscle wastage. They'd want to send you up as and with so much extra muscle. As someone that that was reasonably ill and was in hospital for a month, and I was bedbound for 2 weeks of that, and on crutches and a Zimmer frame for another 2 weeks before I got out on crutches. The muscle I lost was unbelievable, and that's still on a planet with gravity.
When I broke my leg, I had 2 pins. I've got 2 pins in my ankle where I fell off a wall when I was pissed. Pissed. And true story.
Don't go climbing any walls tonight.
But my leg has got like a little vein on the back of it where it's kind of like it's got one leg looks a little bit older than the other leg. And I remember when it came out. I remember when I came out of the when I came out. I would say I came out of the pod, but when I came out of the pot, my leg was like it just was weak and looked like a bit frail. And I kind of had to work that out. I had to go through what they call it, physio and what's up.
Yeah.
Leg back. So I know
it took me over a year. Over a year it took me to get to get.
But you've seen them when they come down to Earth.
Yeah.
They look like they can hardly move. The
Gray, don't send out shaped fat men in the first place.
Maybe they need that excess fat.
I don't know.
Maybe they're like, right, if you're going to go, listen, guys, you look great, but we don't want you to listen. If you're going to go into space, eat a few cakes, let's get you up there. We need you to, we need a bit of fat on you. You need to be able to survive. It's rations up there.
Maybe. I still believe that we would be sending.
I mean, have you ever had a fight with a fat guy? Because I have. I tell you something.
I'm pretty big.
The fat guy won.
I would probably be considered the fat guy in this situation. But yeah, I don't know. But back to the moon, because I'm sure
we're going back to the moon. You just said it right there.
I'm not sure.
2024.
I think we should have been back before now. I think if we're going to go back, we'd have been back before
100%,
now.
100% we should have been back. Why did we?
I find it interesting we're not talking about going to Mars anymore. I know we've still got the Elon thing, but for a while there in the early 2000s, it was Mars was the next destination, wasn't it?
Elon really did keep shouting about that. We're off to he believes that that's the future of the human race. We need to get to Mars. There's bugger all there, but we need to get there because we may not last very long on here. Not long enough. We need to get on other, not just Mars. We need to get on other planets. We need to spread ourselves out, because if this place goes to shit, which it's it's looking that way, we need to be elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to change our habits. It depends where you are, where you are with man-led climate change. I don't think there's anything. I think it's weird that the West have sort of took it upon themselves to destroy essentially try and destroy ourselves in the name of climate change, where developing countries will just go, well, fuck you. We're not doing that, and we're pumping much worse into the atmosphere.
My wife is massive on climate change. She's one of these that I can't even open a packet of crisps without her looking at me as if to say,
would you like a break?
Would I like a break?
Would you like a break from it?
From my wife? Yeah, I'd love it.
It's not an offer. If you give her a book, no matter how much she disagrees with it, will she read it?
Are you going to send it to me?
I can't read it. I can't send it to you. You'll have to get it because I only got a digital copy.
All right.
Get her to read a politically incorrect guide to climate change.
Okay.
If she can get to halfway through that without going, this might be bullshit, I'll be hugely surprised.
You see, I get climate change. When I see these images, and this is what pisses me off about you see that when you see animals with these. When I open a can, the thing it comes in, the plastic, I cut it into loads of pieces because I've seen the images of animals with it round the neck, or a turtle that's got half.
Oh, let's separate pollution to climate change. We should definitely not be doing shit with plastics. We should be making less rubbish, because essentially it'll end up like WALL-E. We've all seen WALL-E. We'll have a little robot around trying to clean the place up after we've gone. My issue is the idea that we're going to make the planet inhabitable for us through climate change. I have questions. They're yet to be answered. And regardless of how many shouty 16-year-old girls have told me.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. But this is whether Elon Musk is saying that we need to leave here because of that. I don't think he's saying that we need to leave this planet because of that, by the way. I think he's saying it for other reasons.
He thinks the owners are coming back.
Well, Elon Musk is I think he's 50-50 that we are living in a simulation.
Yes, I find his way of his idiot's guide to simulation thing, where he says, as soon as we can create an artificial Earth through computer models, which realistically we're getting closer to all the time, then it's the chances of us being the base reality are infinitesimally small. That's I get that. That's clever, put in a really stupid way for a moron like myself to understand.
So, if this is a simulation, what would be the reason why we hadn't gone to the moon? Because if it's a simulation, surely we could go anywhere within. Because surely it would just need a download, an upload, or whatever, a software update if this is a simulation. And so if we're discovering new planets, but they weren't made yet when they designed this simulation that we're all living in, i.e., the moon, a base on moon, what have you. Okay, maybe they went to the moon and saw that it was just mesh. You know, it was just like a glitch.
It just he turned around. It was to try and say VRAM, and they got to the moon. They said, "Well, what's it like?" Buzz said, "Well, it seems to be 720p up here."
Like
it's really blurry. Yeah, it's really blurry. It's only visible like when I'm 3 foot. Anything after 3 foot is really, really blurry.
It was Buzz Aldrin that inspired Minecraft.
Simulation,
as they explained it to NASA.
Simulation, I think, supports the not going to the moon, because if we're talking about computer games anyway, and that it would just make what we look up at a skybox.
Yeah, I see your point there.
So, but then we're back in flat Earth realm.
No, but if you look at where we started with computer games, I mean, I had a Spectrum, Sinclair Spectrum.
Yep.
And if you look at them now, but if you imagine, I mean, you've got that new PlayStation, the new Xbox, PC games has always been fucking amazing. You've got that Star Citizen, is it, on the PC, and Elite Dangerous, and these are games. Elite Dangerous is a game, and No Man's Sky is procedurally generating its own planets. And that's in with our tech. But can you imagine that in even the next 10 years?
Yes,
absolutely. 50 years.
I mean, but I think before we're too old to realize what's going on.
Oh my fucking God! Sorry. What if we're in a own computer game? Like, what if we decided?
I got a shit role. That's what happens. If I'm in a computer game, I got a shit character.
I'm telling you now. What if you played this game, and when you die, you're like, you put the controller down, you're like, oh shit! I remember my own life now. It was all bullshit.
Do you mean, right? So if my life is that good in base reality, my life is that good that I've paid someone and they've said, what do you want to do? Like in Earth 2, I'm like, right, I'd like to be a podcaster, which has got just enough people listening to keep him going, but not enough to do it for a job, not enough to actually make any money out of it, just enough to keep him interested. I want him to be battling with his weight for his whole life, and just clever enough that he understands stuff, but not clever enough that he can actually fucking do anything with his thoughts. So how good does my life have to be that's what I want to do?
That's like me, isn't it? It's like, I want to be a UFO researcher, yeah, that is dyslexic, that can't read the UFO reports.
Yeah, it's great. I'm absolutely listening back to this podcast because I think I can turn that into a stand-up bit. But
mate, you can whack the podcast out on your podcast.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll leave a couple of weeks. But I'll throw up for my listeners. But yeah, I don't know. The simulation theory is. Do you know what the crazy thing is about simulation theory? Is because it's so futuristic over here, but it wraps you right back around to here, where all of a sudden it's creationism again.
Yeah.
Because if it's a simulation, someone's made us, and that means, be it Bob at IBM or whatever, there is a God.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's a simulation, some fucker created it, you know? There's some little bastard up there that's created this hellhole. And, you know, it's like the Grand Theft Auto, isn't it? Grand Theft Auto 6, 7, whatever. You know, this is it. And we're in it. and we're not enjoying it. So let us out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it means that wherever we are in base reality, we must be having a great time if we want to do this.
Let's have a look here. What's some... So we've got. You're gonna have to.
What statement, Mr. Northwood? My statement of if we're in a simulation, there has to be a god because someone has to start the simulation.
Possibly could be. There's a few statements you've made.
Yeah, most of which I probably can't back up with any sort of evidence. But yeah, that's.
Well, this is why YouTube's slowly getting rid of us because we don't have the evidence to back anything up.
That's why they won't get rid of us. That's why they keep us around. Like let these morons speak. No, I take it that's what he must have been saying. But yeah, I think if we're programmed, if we're put here in something, then something has to have put us here.
Yeah, do you know? So my dad used to say.
Just quickly, Combat Autumn. Yes, that episode of Red Dwarf. I love
episode of Red Dwarf because I like Red Dwarf.
Better Than Life. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't Better Than Life. It was the Despair Squid, where they all woke up in a future where they thought the Red Dwarf was a video game.
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, it's great.
I've seen a lot of Red Dwarf.
It was the first episode with Dwayne Dibley in it.
Oh, yes.
That
was Rimmer, wasn't it? It was Rimmer, Dwayne Dibley.
That was Cat. It was Cat.
That's it. Yes,
I'm an absolute Red Dwarf super fan.
Obviously, I'm not that much of a fan if I don't know. Give me Star Trek any day of the week, though. And I do like The Orville. Have you watched that?
It's gone now, isn't it? It's finished.
Oh, bloody beautiful that program.
Yeah, it didn't know what it wanted to be though. It didn't know whether it wanted to be a Star Trek or it wanted to be a comedy.
But the Apple series, that's what I'm going to tell everybody that's in here. If you've got an iPhone or iPad, you might be able to get a free. If you go into your Apple TV, and this is not a sponsored video, people. I'm just trying to help you out here. Apple, what is it called now? I'll tell you what it's called because I've got my iPad here and I've been sneakily watching it on my mother's account. But it's called, and it's amazing.
The way on your camera, that looks like you just picked the sun up.
It's called For All Mankind, and it's on Apple TV, and it's an alternative reality to Americans landing on the moon first, and it's amazing. It is such a good series. I recommend it to anybody. And if you've got an Apple thingy, whatever, get 1 month free out of them. Just watch that series. It's brilliant. That's all I've watched on there, and I'm about to watch something called C. I've not seen it yet, but I'm gonna watch C. But yeah, For All Mankind, fantastic. Alternative reality to Americans landing on the moon first. And guess what? There's water there. When they go, so the Russians beat them to it, and I said this at the beginning of the podcast. The Russians beat them to it. Is this a podcast or a vlogcast? What is it?
I've no idea. I suppose it's a.
Is there such thing as a vlogcast? Is there such thing as a vlogcast? I've just made that up.
No, the kids say live stream, don't they?
There you go for you, Goof on Radio. Oh, that didn't sound good. That just blasted all up. That spilled beer all over my mic.
Did you just blast all over the listeners? That'll be another $10, guys.
It'd be the only blasting I'll be doing for the next 4 years. Married for too long to do that much blasting. So yeah, that is an alternative reality, and they find in a crater, they find water that's in ice, and a lot of it. And both the Russians and the Americans build a base in the same opposite ends of the crater, and they're both fishing for the water.
Isn't it funny though? Isn't it funny how all the things that happen, Hollywood tends to have something for us straight away. I was particularly rattled this morning by I've forgotten what the name of the film is. I think it's Michael Bay's next film, and it's about what's going on. You know, that thing we can't say.
Okay,
But it's exactly about that, because it's like the word and 23, so it's like the 23rd version of the thing. I know this film's coming out. I was watching it thinking, like, because there's been a bit of a backlash by people saying, "Oh, it's cashing in on Misery," and I can understand that. But my issue is things were shut down for a long time, and you're still not getting like proper filming stuff done there. How has Michael Bay managed to make a film about this during it?
Well, did you watch the Borat?
No, I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
No, I mean the missus watched it last night. No, listen, I like. Don't get me. When Borat first did his UK just sketch show, I thought it was hilarious. The films, I'm like, it's too commercialized. But there's a few bits in that I'm like, oh my god, that actually, So with anything that I watch, I'm like, to the wife, I'm like, that's fake. That's been staged. You can tell that's been staged. Straight away, I'm like, that's staged. But there's bits in that isn't staged. But what I'm saying is that went on during all this. That was filmed during all this when it first started. And I'm like, shit, I don't know how he's got away with saying some of the stuff that he says in that film.
Yeah. I don't know. I see he's an odd character, Sacha Baron Cohen. He's thrown quite a lot of people under the bus. I'm a big comedy fan. I
like him. I think he's hilarious.
But he's thrown a lot of people under the bus at the minute for he's getting pretty woke, and I can't help think that
this is what Joe Rogan was talking about with Alex Jones.
Yeah, he's made his money through racial stereotypes,
right?
And now
this is where we're walking the thin line of what we need to be careful of, Lee.
Yeah. But now he's attacking other comics for not being woke enough, and you think you've made your money through this, and now you're throwing people under the bus. There's just something about those people right now which have these like such ironclad beliefs about the new things that I can't take to.
Yeah, I mean, for anybody who's wondering what it's like, it's all right if you just want to laugh about 3 times. As a grown, I think if you're a kid, you'll find it funny. But I'm kind of like, something has to be hilarious for me to laugh these days. I'm fart humor. I'm always laughing. Someone farts, I'm in. Or trumps, as we say in the UK. This is why when someone said the president's Donald Trump, I pissed myself. Are you serious? The guy's named after a fart? Because that's what, for everyone in the States, a Trump in the UK is an almighty fart. It's a Trump. But speaking of Trump, Trump's been really pushing space
Force.
Yeah.
I don't get what
that I showed where Buzz was having his little smirk off.
Yeah, he's. You see, a lot to me just thinks with Buzz Aldrin, it's
age.
It's your age. It's a guy that just let him go to a beach somewhere, something like that. I mean, he said all sorts of things about like monoliths on Mars, and like all sorts of crazy things. And there was a tweet as well, wasn't it? Wasn't his Twitter account was hacked, and somebody tweeted a picture of a black pyramid in the Antarctic from his Twitter account, I believe. But it came out not to be him. And there's always been this little bit in my mind thinking, now was it him? Just having a bit of a senior one.
So he did definitely say 100% that there is a monolith
on Phobos.
Phobos, yeah. Which is the moon that's a little bit like it's a little bit of a messed up shape.
Yeah. The only reason I know Mars has got a moon called Phobos is because of that interview. So I know it was said.
And he said, "Who put that there? God."
No, I don't think he said who put it there. We were asked.
He said who put. He said there is. He goes, there is a monolith on Mars. Who put that? Who put that there? God. Who knows, or something like that. He uses the word God.
Right.
In that.
Crazy.
And I've looked at that monolith, and it's it is weird. It's like some sort of. It's almost a semicircle coming up out of the ground straight.
Yeah.
But it could be the way that he's taking the picture. But why would Buzz Aldrin make such a big deal out of that? It's like an Easter egg, It's like an Easter egg in a computer game.
Mm-hmm. I that's the thing. It's the stuff with all this sort of thing. You just think, well, hopefully half of it can be true. But again, the thing is, the guys had such a life. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just the case of what he. Let's say everything's right, because I know we can bounce it back all evening again, going about whether we went, whether we didn't go. But if we just go that. He had this incredible experience, right? Can you imagine what that would do to you, psychologically, knowing that you're never going to do anything again to top what you've done? It would be soul destroying.
Well, that happened to me when I was 18. There was this girl that I met in a nightclub.
But you know what I mean? If you did something at such a reasonably young age, and then you just thought, shit, all I have to do now is talk about what I've done.
It's like Travis Walton.
Every day, every day is a disappointment.
Because he's not going to have that situation again. But no. I'm telling you, that is the one UFO case that really, that
Betty and Barney Hill. Betty and Barney Hill, I am.
They both snuffed it.
Yeah, on that, like a car bonnet, like when you look at the time period it was, the fact that it was an interracial couple that probably didn't want the attention at the time, you don't make that up. Do you know what I mean?
No, you don't.
So yeah, it's I know you because you're big with alien abductions, aren't you?
I won't say I'm big, but I'm trying to get what I call a portfolio of people with experiences that then one day I can look back at and go, okay, and start connecting the dots. So that's what I'm after doing. But yeah, there's people that I have spoken to recently about their experiences that I totally believe. Like without a shadow of doubt, I believe that they have had an experience, whether it's whether it's something different to alien. I don't know if it's alien that they're seeing, but I believe they've seen something.
They've seen something. Yeah. It's in the same way as I told you about my experience with hallucinogens, didn't I? And I'm convinced that the entities that were around were a thing. I don't think it was just it. There was something else there rather than just something that was made up in my head.
Well, that's the thing, Lee. I think there's definitely something. There's something there I'm not saying it's 100% alien.
There's something between the lines. There's something between the lines of reality.
And when I first started this channel, I was all for there's alien spaceships visiting this planet. They're on the moon. They're on Mars. I've seen them. I've seen them on Google Earth. I've seen them on Google Moon. I've seen them on Google Mars. They're there. They're 100% there. Now, I question myself on that. I look at this phenomena, and I can't believe I just said that right. I think almost right. I look at this phenomena.
Only took 10 cans.
Yeah. It's quite, and half a bottle of red wine. Booyah!
Before it disappears, top comment from it's Richard Northwood about Buzz Aldrin and Edgar Mitchell. That is worth popping for people.
There you go. I love this StreamYard. Sorry, I just can't look. I can't concentrate on your conversation and look at the chat.
No, it's cool. I've just got no attention span, so I keep listening to you and then looking at them. And Richard Northwood has been bringing the knowledge all the way through this. Richard
Northwood is a Patreon as well, so that just goes to show that I've got great supporters.
It does.
That's a hint, guys. If you want to support the channel,
you'll get smarter.
You'll get smarter. Yeah, I taught Rich everything he knows, including martial arts. Mate, the guys like I can't remember what it is. I think it's Tai Chi or something. It's like a martial arts expert. But yeah, Edgar Mitchell. He's in. I'm sure he is in the Phenomena, the film, the Phenomena, right at the beginning, and he's talking about. So what he saw was not when he was on the moon; it was beforehand, and it was. I think it's Edgar Mitchell. I'm pretty sure it is. I've got the Phenomena here. So I'll screen share it so everyone watch the film.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it is Edgar Mitchell because he
spoke about.
He died last year. Was it last year? The year before? It wasn't a long time ago.
When did Edgar Mitchell die? It thinks I said David Mitchell. Google's not what it's not as good as people say it is. It really isn't. How's Edgar sound like David?
Mark Todd is from the Isle of Man too. Hi, mate. Crazy.
Mate, you can go to a pub together. Lee does stand up.
Doing stand up again in Ramsey on the 13th of next month.
Are you wearing a mask?
No.
Oh, because you're that far away, aren't you?
What?
Oh no, you don't need to. No, you don't need to.
No, that's sorry. I didn't see. This is the problem with not being able to say words. Yeah.
I only said mask.
Yeah. No. Yeah. 2016 he died. Yeah. Sorry, I was thrown out there. I was thrown off there by seeing a fellow countryman.
Yeah. Well, mate, I don't mean to invite myself, but at some point. I'm coming to the Isle of Man.
Oh,
I'm going to get myself a hotel room. I mean, you're off out for the night.
Yeah, the minute that the iron walls come up from places, that'd be great.
I'm off to the States as well. There's a few places I'm going. I've decided once this is all gone, I'm going to try and travel a little bit more, do a little bit more with the channel. Get out there in the sticks. Interview people face to face. I did that in the very early days. There is videos of me in a nightclub asking someone pissed out their brain if they believe in alien life on different planets.
This doesn't feel like an interview. This feels like an attack.
Well, one of my friends says in the background, please, Ollie, no. She says, you can hear him in the background. Please, mate, no, not tonight.
I've been in the same situation before. It's it's that moment where you've had just enough drink. You go, right, I'm gonna change minds. I see your mind. I'm gonna take it. I'm going to mold it into what I believe it should be, and it never works.
Like people said to me, you know, what you need to do, Alien Addict, is you need to stop drinking on your channel and it'll make it. And I'm like, oh, I'm no good without having a drink, you know. All the videos you see me where it's just me, you know, I've probably had a cup of tea. But I'm like, you know, like Joe Rogan, where he interviews people and he has a spliff.
Mm-hmm.
Beer is my spliff.
Yeah, I'm the same with heroin.
You've just got my channel deleted by saying that, my friend.
Can we not say that? I meant the female heroes.
It's going to get to the point where you can't fart on your own channel. You know what I mean? Like it's rude.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what it's going to get to.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised at the couple of episodes of my podcast which haven't been. I'm surprised that nothing been flagged on YouTube. Maybe it's because I don't use it, so there's not a lot of. I don't get a lot of traffic on YouTube. All my traffic comes from actual podcast listens, but I'm surprised there hasn't even. I haven't had like one strike for some of the stuff we've spoke about.
Yeah, because you're very gritty.
Yeah, well, the thing is
take a lot of risks.
Well, it's only YouTube that it's risky on, and I've never really, it's never been a thing. It's just my stuff gets uploaded to YouTube because on my podcast provider there was a little YouTube button. I press it, and it does the rest. I never really think about it.
It's there, and you can share it out, but you don't bother. Do you bother putting it in like what they're called? So on a YouTube, which this one I've not done either. None of the live videos I do, but you can put like certain words so it's searchable.
Oh no, it's something I need to learn is like metadata stuff for things.
Yeah,
I need to learn that, but it's
guys, go check out Must See Audio.
That'd be great if you could.
Lee, drop your link in the comment section. I'm sure you should. Can you do that?
I can do it. I can.
Yeah, drop your link in there because we've been going for now and 2 hours and a half, which
it's a long time, buddy.
Won't go for much longer. But before we do go, for the people, for 28 people we've got in now, we'll return back to the moon for a little bit longer, and then we'll end it because we've been going for a long time now. And for somebody who's watching this on the bus or on the train or in the car, I hope you're not watching it. If you're driving right now, do not look at our faces. Concentrate on the road. The moon has water on it, potentially has water. It does have particles that they're crystallized that have come from a comet.
Mm-hmm.
How do you vet that? And what I mean by that is, have you seen the film Life?
No, I don't think so.
It's fucking brilliant. There's another recommendation for you guys there. The film Life is on the ISS, and they get this bit of something back from Mars, and it's a bacteria, and then it basically turns into this amazing, intelligent alien that just rips them all a new arsehole on the ISS and destroys it.
Like Kim Kardashian.
Very similar. Very similar. And is it Kim that's married to Kanye?
Yes.
Who wants to be the next president?
He doesn't want to be the next president.
I thought he did. I saw him on Joe Rogan the other day.
Yeah, I personally, I think he's he wants to take a certain section of the voting public away from the Democrats to help Trump win.
He's good buds with Trump, isn't he, though?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you think Trump's a Kanye fan as in the actual music?
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on in there?
Do you like a bit of Kanye?
I didn't. I like more now than I did. Not because of anything he said or done. It's not that. It's just I never really skipped it. I just sort of skipped all of that. But some of the stuff I've listened to now, I've thought actually it's pretty good.
I think the guy's very spiritual. He's got that kind of like, I don't think he's lying about that bit. I think he does have kind of like that, you know, spiritual side to him.
I think he's, see, the thing is, I think he is, he's got the same sort of smart I've got, where you're just smart enough to get yourself in trouble. The difference is he's got a lot of people that agree with him rather than people that are checking what he's saying. I think because the podcast he did with Rogan was rubbish.
Well, if it was a choice between Kanye West and Boris Johnson, I'd definitely get Kanye over Boris.
I'd take Kanye, definitely. I'd take any of them.
I'd take Kanye's left toe over Boris.
There should have been, but we should be able to do a deal. We should be able to do a deal with America and say, look, you guys didn't want Tulsi Gabbard. You didn't want her. You're wrong. We'll take her. You can have any of ours. You can have Nigel Farage.
Oh, I don't understand politics. It's not my forte. I hear it. I see it.
I don't, but I still talk about it. I enjoy American politics. I think.
Yes, I do. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because it's dramatized.
I think whenever I speak to Americans, they get surprised with the amount I know about American, or not the amount I know, the amount I take notice of it.
Yeah, because it's more in our faces. This is the weird thing. American politics,
entertainment. That's why.
No, American politics and American news takes kind of like front. It does.
Well, whichever way you look at it, America is the hub of the West in my eyes. It's the hub of the Western world.
It's almost like that's the kind of agenda. Somebody who's controlling, because I do think, and this is not conspiracy. This is kind of like my actual thoughts. It's not because I've watched conspiracy channels or this, that, and the other. I do think that there are people who kind of like, they have the strings and they pull them where they want to pull them, and aim it in this way, aim it that way, and it's all an agenda. But we do see pretty much everything that's going on in the UK, and all of it's like a lot of it comes from America.
Well, I think
over the years, everything we've bought into, even wrestling.
Yeah. Well, you've got America is a world superpower. It's the world superpower, and we are a key part of the Western world, as America is. So we are going to naturally gravitate to the most powerful part of our tribe. If you look at the West as our tribe, we're going to naturally gravitate to that, just like you would if you were in a small tribe. You would gravitate towards the person that you think would keep you the safest. That's the way I look at the way we look at like American politics. I might be completely wrong, but I think if you stop thinking it, because if you think of global politics as being sort of just this crazy huge thing that we couldn't possibly understand, and then break it down to how it would still be if we were just in tribes, I think it becomes more obvious of why we follow certain things, and why we don't follow other things, why we don't follow whales, for instance.
It's a lovely place, though. Do you think when we are finally on either the moon, Mars, or wherever, that it'll kind of like bring us all together?
No, I think we'll fuck that up. I think we have to. I think we're naturally conflicting animals. Well, we will seek something out. We'll seek adversity out. And that's one of the problems now. I think we're so comfortable. Technology's made things so easy, for good and bad. I mean, this is ridiculous. When you can think of just if you think of when we would have both been like around 20, because we're around the same age, yeah. So if you
I
think,
think you're younger than me, Lee.
just a couple of years, I'm 38.
I'm 39. I'm 40 this year.
Yeah, I've already turned 38. So yeah, a couple of years, give or take a few couple of months. But
I'm
what
waiting
you
for the
think?
comments now. You don't look alien at it. You look amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Very much for that.
If you look at what we'd have thought was going to happen when we were in like our 20s, early 20s, where YouTube was just going to become a thing, it's Facebook and Twitter were just down the road. The idea that we could be sat in homemade studios, like doing a podcast, talking to, I mean, at best thousands, it's but the possibility of millions. Do you know what I mean?
Are you on about my channel?
Yeah.
We got 21 in. We did have like 40 in a bit.
Gets uploaded.
It's getting
afterwards.
older.
Yeah.
The video's getting older.
We'll stick our numbers together. It's fine. But the you have this ability to speak to people in different parts of the world, to other people on completely the opposite side of the world.
Yeah.
It would sound like science fiction. So with all these things have made things so easy for us to do things. I think that's why we have to seek our adversity in different places, because we're not in any real. If you take out current events, there's no real life-threatening situations around us.
No,
our natural predator.
If you take out current events, yeah.
Our natural predator is a bad driver. The time of the chance of us dying early is either having a car crash or being hit by a car.
Well, yeah. There's a big chance of that because you've seen.
Because I'm a terrible driver.
Well, it's just there's a lot of people that drive like dickheads.
Yes, there is.
People think that people get behind the steering wheel these days. They think they're invincible. But Lee, on that note, so we've been going now for nearly 3 hours. This is the longest I've ever done. But this is I'm trying to get the sweet spot here, guys. So this is my first ever guest on a live podcast. So Lee, thank you very much.
I'm honored to be the first guest. Honored.
Well, I am honored to have you. There's a few. I can literally count on one hand how many guys that I would want as regular people on the show, and you're one of them, mate. I feel that we've got that kind of. We go all over the place, which I like, and I'm sure the viewers get a little bit confused by it. We started off with the moon and we've ended up on politics, which I know fuck all about politics.
It's probably my fault. I hijack Alien Addict and turn it into musty.
He does it every time. He does it every time. But Lee, can you let everybody know where they can find you? Can you drop a link? Did you drop a link before?
I dropped the link to you. I can't stick it in the chat.
Oh.
So it's in our little private chat, the one where you've been slacking off all your patrons.
Yeah.
He didn't really slag his off, I promise.
How do here we go. Link.
But yeah, I left a link tree, so there's links to everything there is good.
Comments, there we go. I'll bob it on there for you. Paste. Go check out Lee at Must See Audio. He has the platform for you, whether it be Google, Spotify, iTunes.
Just search Must See Audio. Just Google Must See Audio. There's enough stuff out there now where it's pretty high, if not the top result.
And as well as the conspiracy stuff, you do a lot on Formula One. Yeah,
I do lots of Formula One stuff. I do a podcast called 3 Legs 4 Wheels. I also do a podcast called The Hot Lap, which is part of Must See Audio. There's I'm starting to do a new podcast as well. It was just for my patrons, but I'm starting to put it out more and more onto the normal channel where I do watch alongs with films. When me and my friend Susie, we watch a film and have a little natter about it while we're watching the film. And crazy enough, this Sunday, which will be, so the podcast will be going out next week. This Sunday, we're going to watch The Shining. So if you go and subscribe to it's synchronicities, mate.
Guys, go watch The Shining. If you've not watched The Shining, watch The Shining. Then you need to watch a Room 237, the documentary.
No, well, this is what they can do. They can watch The Shining, but wait for my podcast, and we can watch it together.